Welcome back to the Smugglers Den. This is episode 23. As always, I'd like to thank swdestiny.com for hosting the Smugglers Den. You can go there for all kinds of articles, videos, spoilers, whatever you need. Check them out. They've almost assuredly got it. You can go to brokenegggames.com. You can go ahead and get all your tokens and different gaming apparatus. Apparatus is singular, I think. I don't know what the plural is. Apparati. There, you can put TG Games in the discount code coupon at the end. And again, to all the people who support me on Patreon, Tiny Grimes, thank you so much for your support. It's been exceedingly generous, and we got all kinds of stuff there, talking new deck ideas all the time over there, trying to figure out what is going on with Spirit of Rebellion. And this week we have a special guest. He played Wicket in Return of the Jedi, or as I call it, the third Star Wars movie. Welcome to the show, Leighton. How you doing?
Wow, that's quite an intro. Yeah, I'm great, thanks. It's a privilege and honor to be part of the show. Thanks very much for having me.
Well, no problem at all. And Leighton, you have your own show. What show are you generally a part of?
So yeah, I'm part of the three-man meta. We're a relatively new podcast. We're three guys based in Norwich. There's me, Danny, and James. You can find us in the usual places. I'm sure I'll be able to plug us at some point and let you guys know where we are. But yeah, we're called the three-man meta.
Nice. Yeah, I've been pretty excited about how many podcasts have exploded onto the scene. It started with Jason and his one-man 8-minute show that he did for a little while, and then he made a whole podcast out of it, and then suddenly there was the big three, and now it feels like there's, I don't know, do you know how many podcasts there are? I have no idea.
There's too many. People need to stop doing it so we can have more people listening to us.
No, we'll stop, man. You guys keep going.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great, that so many people are embracing this, this game, because Star Wars is so synonymous with so many people. So it's great that people want to, jump in, get their opinions out there, and the more opinion there is, the more debate, the better insight we can have on cards and build the most optimal and powerful decks.
Yeah, I totally agree. The more the merrier. The only downside for me is I can't listen to them all anymore. It used to be like, okay, I'm going to carve out time to make sure I've listened to what everyone has to say, so that first of all, so I'm not stepping on other shows. Like, I want to be adding something different. And it's just gotten to the point where I've said, boy, everyone's doing great stuff, and I don't have any time, so you know what? I'm going to hope that I'm not stepping on people's toes.
Yeah, I guess it's the same. Like, we just recorded an episode the other day, and there's always that kind of like worry that you're just going over the same stuff that everyone else is talking about and not actually bringing anything new to the table. I'm quite fortunate in the sense that I have a 40-minute drive commute to work, so I can at least get a good bit of listening in on the way to work. So nice. I've got a few that I like. That's all I listen
I'd like to ask you something. Is the Smugglers Den one of them?
Well, it just so happens that it is. So pretty fortunate that I get to be part of it. So it's going to be really weird hearing my own voice so I maybe have to miss this episode because it's going to be a bit painful because I don't listen to our own episode. I let the guys, they do the editing. I just hope that I haven't come across like an idiot and just let them sort it out. So yeah.
You'll tell everyone the best episode of the Smugglers Den is definitely number 23. You should check that one out. That's their best one by far. It's not even close.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Leighton. So what have you been doing this week, Star Wars Destiny-wise? Do you have a shop that you go to every week? Has your shop moved on to Spirit of Rebellion? Are you guys still testing Awakenings? What are you up to?
So we've actually got a league running at our local store, Athena Games in Norwich, and it's all thanks to you, listening to your podcast. We thought, you know what? The league sounds like a bloody brilliant idea. One of the reasons why we called our podcast Three-Man Meta was because it basically was just me, Danny, and James turning up every week to play. So we felt like we were the meta of the local area. There was a tournament, there was a lot more people come out of the woodwork, and since we've done this league, there has been a significantly larger turnout and people coming out and playing, which has been really good, having people playing different decks and not feeling so intimidated with the tournament format. It's a lot more casual, and it's been really good. So we had our weekly meetup on Monday, so that was week 4. We're doing a 5-week tournament, sorry, 5-week league. So we've got a fair few games in there, but we're all kind of a bit done with Awakenings because we made it so the league was Awakenings only because not everyone can have access to Spirit Rebellion. I definitely feel the same with you, that I pulled absolute jank from my pre-release packs.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's bad.
terrible.
It's bad
Terrible.
news.
James got something like, I think he pulled something like 4 legendaries out of 6 packs, something outrageous
Wow.
like that.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was, and Danny also, he did pretty, and he got himself a vibrant knife, and he was like, oh, I got a load of rubbish cards apart from I got a vibrant knife. And I was like, dude, you've got like the holdout blaster of the set.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that.
I'll trade you all my rares for your vibro knife.
Yeah, definitely. So we've been at Awakenings only, so played that. Been playing a bit of TTS, so that's where I've been really getting my teeth into the Spirit Rebellion, on Tabletop Simulator. But I haven't really played as much this week as I would like to. But it's definitely had a fair few games, got a fair few games under the belt.
How does your league culminate? Does it have a tournament at the end, or is it just 5 weeks of fun time?
So we've done 5 weeks where you're allowed to play 5 games a week. And so you get a card and you each write down the opponent's name and you kind of clarify before we even start playing, this is definitely going to be one of our league games. Because obviously you can just play casual games throughout the evening. We don't do like a Swiss rounds, it's just kind of as and when whoever turns up. We've also got like an achievement list, and the achievement list is it's split up into the different factions and the 3 different colors. And there'll be things like play an ADST, or defeat a character via backup muscle, defeat a character via Qui-Gon Jinn's ability. So kind of allow people to play different things, and how the points have been done. So you get points for wins, you get a point for playing the game, you also get points for these achievements. And so the prize is going to be divvied up by the person with the most wins gets a top tier prize, and the person who gets the most achievements also gets a top tier prize. So that's kind of made this interesting thing where people are playing decks specifically to get achievements.
Right.
And one game, a guy had so much damage on the board, he probably could have beaten his opponent twice over, but didn't want to take it because he wanted to win via a special condition to get that achievement off the list.
So the problem with that is that sounds cool and all, but it kind of feels bad when you're the other person. You're like, listen, man, I want to go play someone else. I've lost already. Just kill me. And you're like, no, don't resign. Don't resign. I need to kill you with this weird way.
Yeah, it was quite funny. But there's a few people watching. He was like, well, if you're not going to kill me, I guess I'm going to take all the time I can to try and at least achieve this achievement over here to get myself some points.
There you go.
So
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So it was, and so even when he had got sort of like the achievement, he was like, okay, I could have killed you 3 times over. Go on, I'll give you another opportunity to get your achievement. And I was like, it's kind of cool. I like this that we're playing and it's building the community, but it wasn't quite the intention of the achievement list, but it's still cool.
Yeah. My week was about the polar opposite of yours. Our league has finished. We haven't started a new one yet. I have not been able to make it out to the shop the last 2 Wednesdays, and so this week, Mike from SW Destiny and sometimes co-host stopped by my house twice, I think, since we've last done this, and we just basically helped him test for Worlds. And so it was, throwing tier 1 decks at each other, trying to make 1-card techs. Basically, what we really did a lot of was, how do you beat Han Rey with the double second chance at the end? And it's just so exhausting for both player, as you're really trying to parse out exactly the right play, all these little tiny misplays we would detect and be like, we should really rewind it because that play looked good, but if you look 3 plays down, that was actually a misplay. It's just so exhausting trying to figure out exactly how to handle that matchup.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. When we had a tournament, we travelled a couple of hours to a tournament somewhere, and beforehand, a few nights before, me and Danny were playing a lot of games, and we were kind of saying, right, talk almost like not necessarily playing open hand, but we were kind of saying like, right, this is my line of play. I was thinking about doing this, and really analysing each other's plays to try and find like how he would feel differently about the cards he had, how he would play it, and vice versa, to try and find the most optimal plays, and maybe try to find lines that we hadn't necessarily seen initially, to try and make sure that when we got into those situations, we kind of we knew every eventuality. So it's definitely helpful if you've got a bunch of friends that you can play with and, like say, really hammer out the top tier decks and kind of try and knock them down a peg or two, because that second chance at the end of on hand, that is a killer. It can be soul destroying when he's so low and suddenly they just drop it on him and you're like, no.
I mean, really, the bottom line is it's not soul destroying because you know it's going to happen, but it's still exhausting to try to figure out exactly how to make sure they don't get 6 of them, right? Like, they're going to get the 2. That's just a given. And so the question is, how do I best position myself where they only get 3 of them off instead of 5?
Yeah, in that matchup, I often find myself asking the question, do I kill Ray first, or do I just try and blow Han up as quickly as I can, just praying that I don't have the second chance in hand? Therefore, that card becomes a dead card later game. And sometimes it can work. If you can just, roll like a god and they are unfortunate in their draws and don't get the removal, you can take him off the board nice and early. Then you're definitely, that's the game. When hand dies, with hand dies, be it the first character die or the second character die, you've won the game.
Exactly. I totally agree. Unless you build your deck really weird, but I haven't seen a Han Ray like that in a while. That was basically a Ray deck using Han as the decoy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Awakenings is a card that kind of is kind of fallen out of favor, I think, in a lot of people's builds.
It's funny, I put 2 back because I was like, listen, we've got Jetpack, we've got the Blaster, we've got even the Holdout Blaster, all these cards after Ray dies. I put 2 of them in my deck. We played 4 games. I didn't play a single one. I was like, all right, it's coming back out.
Yeah. It's always that moment when you think like, I'm going to be really clever here. I'm going to put this card back in. People aren't going to expect it, but then you never play. Yeah, and you feel like you just played a tournament with 28 cards.
Yep. That's fine. I got rerolls. It's fine, man. But,
yeah. I guess there's always that.
Maybe you put a card in there that doesn't have to be a reroll. It can actually do something also.
Yeah, actually benefit your win condition.
It's funny because I want to just move to Spirit of Rebellion. I don't care at all about Awakenings anymore. I don't want to test it. I don't want to talk about it. But I'm helping several people get ready for Worlds, and so that's fun for me. And so I'm not going to Worlds. And Leighton, are you going to Worlds?
I would love to go to Worlds, but unfortunately, no, we're not making it down to Worlds this year. But maybe next year if we can get ourselves together, sorted out.
Drive.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to make sure my car's nice and watertight because, as far as I'm aware, it's not. It leaks when it rains. So I don't imagine what's going to be like driving at the foot of the ocean.
Take a ferry. Just take a ferry, man.
Yeah, we could wind it back 100 years and just take a boat and sail there. Take about a month. Try not to get scurvy. Yeah.
Let me just put it this way: that's a lot of time for playtesting.
It is a lot of time for playtesting. It's also a lot of time for cabin fever and going insane. So I think those things that I may try to avoid if I can.
Mental fortitude. So Leighton, if you were going to Worlds, what would you bring? What would you bring to Worlds as your Worlds deck? And would you bring it because it's the deck you're most comfortable with, or would you bring it because it's the deck you are confident you would win with?
Well, there's definitely a few decks that come to mind. I mean, we've talked about it. Hanray, it won the TTS League Season 1. It's always been there. It's always been strong. There's a deck which I call the Sleeper deck, which was one of Danny from the Meta's favorite. It was the Elite Phasma Bala Trooper deck. I really like that deck. I never actually played it. I actually hate playing against it, but I think it's a great deck. I think it's a solid deck. So that could be a surprise winner. But if I was going, I'd play Vader Raider. I've been playing Vader Raider pretty much since I started playing this game, when I was so fortunate enough to pull a Vader, and then I had a friend pull a Vader, and he didn't want it because he just wants to play heroes, and I kind of had him in the hand of the Bank of Leighton because I've given him loads of cards from another card game to kind of get him into it. So he kind of felt a bit, he owed me, and he was just going to give it to me. And I was like, no, seriously, I can't take this card for free, but I will give you a small monetary value for it. Yeah.
I'll give you Qui-Gon for it. Equal value.
Yeah. So since that, I've just played with him quite extensively. The two boys, they hate me for it. It's because they see it as being quite boring. But some decks, I just feel... I mean, I've played a lot of character combinations, and sometimes you do feel like from the start, you sit against your opponent, you're like, yeah, I've got an uphill struggle. But when I'm sitting down, I've got Vader and I've got a Raider there, I feel powerful. I feel strong, and I feel confident that I can take the world. So that's definitely the wombo combo I'd go for.
It seems like Vader Raider's gone through quite a roller coaster ride of popularity. It seemed like out of the gate, I made an early video about a Vader Raider deck I had played, and it seemed like everyone jumped on that as like the first good, solid aggro deck. And especially against people that were new to the game, it just wrecked them all, right? Aggro decks are hard for new players to play against. So it wrecked everybody. And then it seemed to have go through a period where it dipped a bit, and the Django decks popped up, and some other decks popped up. And then it had this resurgence where I thought everyone was going to bring it to Worlds. And it seems like in about the last 2 to 3 weeks, most people that I know or have talked to have decided that Po-Ray is essentially the same in their mind, only with a higher ceiling and a slightly lower floor, but it's the same type of deck of being really explosive, and they thought it was a scarier version of Vader Raider. And I feel like less people are bringing Vader Raider to Worlds than I thought would. It got so bad that for a time people were actually running blocks in their deck, and I was like, holy cow. People have adjusted by running blocks, and I don't think we're going to see that now at Worlds.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there was the time when, like, say, when Django was running Rife and everyone had a dodge in their deck. Yeah. But yeah, the call for the block switch is that's a bold move. One that I don't feel like I would make myself. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Po-Ray, that is, like you say, it's a deck that has, when it's hot, man, that deck is hot.
Oh yeah,
it really can. It can blow people out of the sky. But again, it does fall into that trap where Ray, dice aren't that great. They really aren't that great. And if things aren't going according to plan, it can be tough. You've really got the strength in a deck is when you can roll absolutely terribly, but still win games and still have ways to winning the game.
Yeah, it's a good solid deck for sure. I think both it and Vader Raider will be everywhere at Worlds. To be honest, I don't think either will win Worlds. I think the deck that wins Worlds will be, I think it's going to be Han Rey, and I think it's because, first of all, a lot of people are going to play Han Rey, and that needs to happen for the Worlds deck to win, because there is luck in a dice game, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's just so much consistency in that deck that, in a best out of 3 for, 4 rounds in the cut, that's tough for a deck like Po-Ray to step up to the plate and not have a crash landing at all. Like, it just has to run perfectly the whole cut, and I just don't see that happening. What about you?
Yeah.
What deck do you think is actually going to win Worlds?
Well, I kind of think maybe FFG think that Han Rey will win because of the map the winner gets. They're giving the world champion a Han map, so maybe they're hedging their bets towards that deck. But yeah, I would not be at all surprised if Han Rey won. I wouldn't be upset either. I wouldn't be like, oh man, this game is terrible. The predictable deck won. Because really, I mean, this is a world tournament with one set.
Yeah.
So there's a very limited to which character combinations are competitively viable at high level. So yeah, I think that's a pretty solid call. I would love it if some madman turned up with Ballad Trooper Knight system, just blew everyone up, just rolled like an absolute champ every game, and just some crazy fool. That would be fantastic. But
people are going to run it because there's that whole article series by someone saying this is the best deck, and whenever someone says this is the best deck, a bunch of people go, well, then it must be the best deck. That person said it is. It's not. Bala kind of wrecks that deck, but it can have solid games for sure. Yeah, I definitely think, while I think Han Rey will win, I'm not confident about that. Like, if I could bet money on it, I would not. There are too many really, really strong decks vying for that spot. It's just, if I had to choose one, that's the one I would elevate as slightly more consistent than the others. I don't even think it's the deck I would bring personally, but it's the deck that is the most frustrating to play. I think it gets a bunch of free wins just off the second chance in the early rounds, as someone a little less experienced just gets really frustrated and doesn't really know how to handle second chance, and so that helps a lot, getting those free wins. And then the late game, it just can be really tough to beat sometimes.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely agree with that. And it's a great deck. It's one I've actually never played.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've never actually played it because I've only, as of Monday, got my second Han finally. So I didn't have a second, so I can never actually play it. But yeah, it's like I say, I don't think I'll be surprised, but it's definitely going to be up there. It'll be in the. I would put money it'd be in the final. I put money on that.
Okay.
In fact, I may just do that. I might have to go down to a local betting shop and be like, "Hey, there's this game called Star Wars Destiny. I want to put a $5 on this deck to be in the final," and they'll just look at me with a blank face.
I'm pretty sure Vegas has a whole section on FFG Worlds.
Really?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Wow.
No, no, they absolutely don't. That was a joke.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I live on a small island, man, and I come from I'm not a very big city either. So it's I'm not. I've never even been in a bookies, so I don't, or a betting shop as it may be referred to in America. So
oh yeah, that's what we call them, betting shops.
I don't even know that world. So you could say anything, and I'd be like, really?
Ooh.
Cool.
Oh, okay, I like this. I like where the show is going now. Now it's taking a left turn. Let's take a moment and talk about some news, because there's all kinds of exciting events coming up. Actually, there's the Chance Cube Open, which is happening Tuesday, May 2nd. So that is pretty soon, which seems like it's going to be a little bit more casual. It's going to have all kinds of cool prizes for people. Basically, if you come out to Worlds to play, this is a chance to come out a little early and play in the Chance Cube Open. What I really want to see, Leighton, is this. I want to see an event that goes like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or just Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's like a 10K prize pool event that happens in the same town. Obviously, it won't be at FFG headquarters, but so that you can fly, you can pay your thousands of dollars to fly and stay in Minnesota and not just win a lame-looking Mon Mothma poster. But you can actually win money first, then go to Worlds, and then win the prestige and the prizes that come with the prestige. I think that would be amazing, and I'm hoping next year or soon after someone puts that together.
That would be incredible. I would definitely be part of that. I would definitely sink some funds into the flight to be part of that. I think as this game gets on, there's going to be a lot more tournaments ran by other people. I play a lot of X-Wing. Don't know if it's the forbidden to talk about a different game on a podcast about a certain other Star Wars game.
But I thought you meant you had an X-Wing card in Destiny that you play. There's another game called X-Wing? I've never heard of that.
There is.
Oh,
okay. There's the Steel Open, which had Star Wars Destiny, if I'm not mistaken, and they always have really cool custom made promos. I've got a few from X-Wing that I've bought online. I think one of the layers looked absolutely gorgeous for Destiny. So I think definitely as this game goes on, as it grows, and I hope it does, there will be more events that spring up that aren't official FFG prize support, but they have got these cool prizes for people to come in and play. Because that's what I like about this game, the fact that your character card could basically just be like a beer coaster with the right information put on it.
Yeah,
I love that. So you can have all these different custom artworks, because as long as you got the dice and people understand that dice links to this card, that's fine. So I think it'd be great to have all these different custom cards people can make. There's plenty of amazing artists out there. In fact, us guys at the Freeman Meta, we've actually commissioned a local artist to make us a Padawan, because I hate the Padawan artwork.
Okay.
And and there's this single site in England that you can buy the dice and the cards separate, which I always found quite odd. And they had a surplus of of non-unique character dice.
Huh.
So I just bought I think I got 5 or 8 Padawan dice. So we're going to get some cards made up, and therefore you can not just win the card, you can have the dice to go with the card.
Are you trying to corner the market on Padawan dice?
Well, it's one they had a lot of. It wasn't necessarily the one that I would have picked, but it's one they had a lot of dice for. So I thought it'd be quite a nice little prize for someone.
I'm going to do a pose real quick. You can screenshot it and use it for the artwork.
Okay, cool. Well, unfortunately, I can't see your face, but I'm assuming it was stunning.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And we can just assume that.
Yeah, and I will definitely be screenshotting that and sending it to my artist and be like, I don't care what you've done so far, scrap it.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Use this man's space. It's garbage. Use this man's space.
Another cool event that's coming up is right here in SoCal. On Worlds Weekend, there's actually going to be a cash event. It's a little bit unclear how big the prize pool is going to be. There's also going to be tons of cool prizes. The guy running it makes these awesome deck boxes, and he's made a bunch of custom deck boxes. So if you want to come out to Oceanside for the SoCal Classic, a whole bunch of the top players in SoCal will be there. It's going to be a weird event in that it's still only Awakening, so it really does mirror Worlds in that way. And so I think for the people who already have their Spirit of Rebellion and get it the Thursday before that, they're going to be like, oh, not more awakenings. And then all the people that get screwed and don't get their boxes are going to go, yes, thank goodness it's not Spirit of Rebellion. I don't have to walk into a Ray buzzsaw all day.
Yeah, I get my face fast hands slapped with many copies of fast hands all over the place. Yeah, that'd be good for people.
So
cool.
That should be fun. And then lastly, I want to talk about my favorite event that's coming up, X Wars in July 8th and 9th weekend. And this, we're finally starting to see these big money events. There's going to be both a 1K and a 3K tournament at this event. So that's really exciting to me. I know some people are kind of worried, like, ooh, money events will bring in a kind of player I don't like. And for me, what I see money events as is a real indication of the success of the game. All really successful games have cash money events. And so this is how we know we're really making it. And so this is really exciting news to me. I love cash money events. I think they're really fun. I really don't think people are going to be like, I should sell my Magic collection and buy Destiny to play in this 1K event when my collection actually costs 1K. I just don't think that's a problem.
It's pretty cool that people are footing the bill. I mean, that's I never ran an event, so it's cool that people are going to be putting down money for players. It definitely is a good indication, like you say, of a game success if there are money events. I'm gonna talk about another game. Oh my god, because I know in Pokemon there's been a lot of cash events happening now. They've just started doing that, which is cool. And that's not as far as I believe from my friends who play that, it's not had any negatives for like just these pro gamers just suddenly being like, yeah, I'm gonna get part of that Pokemon action and drop loads of money into a load of boxes and learn to play this game just so I can I can take all this prize money. So it's a nice solid reward for solid play.
Yeah, I'm really excited about all these events. So that's gonna be really fun. It'll be a busy summer. I'm hoping to make it to some of these. We'll have to see. Real quick, I want to thank some Patreon subscribers from the last week or two. Thanks to Matt and Brian, and I think that's it, who came in at the $5 and above level. Thanks so much for your support. And all the people who came in at $1, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Anything that you donate to the cause is much appreciated. It always stuns me that anyone is willing to say, hey, Tiny, thanks so much for the work. Here's some of my money. So really appreciate it, especially with the boxes I have to buy for Spirit of Rebellion. Oh, man. They add up fast, and my wife looks at me and goes, what? What'd you spend all your money on? I'm like, what? No, I didn't spend no money on that. What are you talking about? All right. Well, let's move on to Spirit of Rebellion. Put Awakenings in the rearview mirror, Leighton. I don't want to even hear the word Awakenings anymore unless it's the card Awakenings. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. We've cleaned our palette. And I want to talk about not necessarily what you think are the best cards, not what you think are the coolest cards, but we're gonna each take turns listing cards that are driving our Spirit of Rebellion deck building. Maybe we do think they're cool, maybe we do think they're strong, but these are the cards that are really causing us to think in the direction that we're going. So we'll start with you, Leighton. What's one card that's really driven your deck building lately?
So it's a card that you've been talking about recently, and that card is Swiftness. The reason why this card has really been making me think is because just the options and the plays that it gives you. So not just pairing it with Ray, but what it gives you for other decks and other and the power things you can do with it. An archetype of card that I'm really looking forward to playing a lot more of is Damage from Hand. So cards that confirm damage. So cards like Lightsaber Throw, Synchronicity, and things like that. So I love my Vader Raider, and I've got a new Vader Raider which makes use of Swiftness. It makes use of Swiftness with cards like Cheat as well. So I could have just a Vader with a bug on the board. I can Swiftness out my Cheat to then get my bait and switch out from my discard pile, and then it's just crazy shenanigans. Or things like I've got a buttload of modifiers on the board. I can play Swiftness on my 4-strike to then change my Vader die to the 3, and then I can resolve him with the modifiers.
Ooh, that's a dirty play.
Yeah, it's all about just damage out of nowhere and blowing people up. So
that's really cool.
Can't wait.
I agree with that, but I wouldn't think Swiftness fits into that as well. Like, I definitely love Cheat for that and Force Strike and all these cards, but it's interesting that you found a way to put swiftness in there as well. I know I've built a new Vader Raider as well, and it's so just full of cards. I'm not sure I can even fit swiftness into this deck.
Well, the way I looked at it was, I'm going to have to cut some of the removal because my removal is killing your character. So that's how I'm going. I'm literally fully embracing the aggro archetype. So I've had to cut the isolations out of there. Still got the 2 he doesn't like use and 2 electroshocks, but they are literally my only removal cards. It's all about being fast, hitting you hard. I've got quite a lot of life.
Okay.
And
I want to comment on that real quick. That is such a trend right now. And I think it's something that's going to go away. It's one of the neat things when a new set comes out. There's all these flashy new tools, and everyone's like, yes, I'm cutting all the removal, and that will just slaughter you. And people send me deck after deck of Tiny. I got this awesome new deck, and I sent them a message back. I'm like, it literally has 0 removal cards, and they're like, I don't need them. I will just kill you. So
yeah,
I'm going to make a bold prediction, Leighton, that you end up putting more removal in your deck. And I'm going to predict you put Doubt in your deck because that card is just amazing.
That card is pretty bonkers. But, live by the sword, die by the sword, I want the game to be as unfun for my opponent as I can. I want no interaction from them.
Sure.
I just want them dead.
You just want
but, it's...
Also, you got places to be. So he's like, this game's got to be over in less than 9 minutes, dude. I mean, come on, man. We got 9 minutes.
Exactly. I like to get my games quick. I like to parade around the other tables, flaunting. Yeah, why are you guys so slow? I won my game. Come on, hurry up. No,
start the next round already. I could have finished 3 rounds already.
Yeah. I'm not that guy. I am not that guy. But yeah, no, I probably will. After I probably get spanked a few times, I probably will want to put the removal back in there. But I just kind of wanted to build something that was just pure aggro.
Yeah,
pure red deck wins. That's what I wanted.
What kind of battlefield are you using with this pure aggro deck? I'm curious.
Maz's Castle, so I can go through my deck, and because I'm still running, I've still got the Holocron with Mind Probe because there's nothing beats the feel of sticking a Mind Probe on a Tusken Raider and smashing someone for 5.
That's how you win games with that deck, right? Vader softens him up. He eventually dies, and the Tusken Raider does ridiculous things.
Exactly. And so the only 2 force powers are Force Throw and Mind Probe. So I guess technically I do have some more removal in the Force Throw, but it's obviously a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah. I agree on swiftness. I think of it more as an accompaniment to the Rey meta, where it just lets Rey do just bonkers things with any upgrade. Like, I'll put a Force Speed on it. It has ambush. I'll take 2 actions. I'll roll Rey. I'll hit the Force Speed. I'll take 2 more actions. And you're like, okay, this is obscene. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go make a sandwich. You play your turn. If any of my dudes are left, then I'll take my turn.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big draw of this game. I do something, you do something. I do something, you do something, and that's just literally been thrown out of the window in this set. Yeah. It really has.
It's my one fear, and I'm just really hoping that these are the easy decks to build, the obvious decks, and as we get a little more sophisticated with our experience with Spirit of Rebellion and we understand it more, that control decks or slower decks will sort of rise up. And I'm trying to force that trend with my Chewbacca Vehicles deck, but I'm quite fearful that that will not actually happen and Rey will just kick ass for the next 3 months. So we'll see. All right, let's see. Let's move on to one of my cards. So let's see if I can find it here. One of my cards is ammo belts. I talked about this yesterday in a video. This has been dictating all of the builds that I've been building for the last 3 days, ever since we heard that ammo belt does in fact work with Second Chance. Lucas himself apparently confirmed this.
Actually, Lucas actually spoke to my friend, and my friend at the event told me that it doesn't work. So, you know.
That's crazy. Well, I've heard from several sources that it does work. I'm pretty much positive that it will work out of the gate. You know, there's certainly the opportunity, I think, for FFG to say, that is broken, and no, it doesn't work. Like, it feels like there's enough wiggle room there either way that whatever they FAQ it to be is what it will be. So I think it's going to work. And if it does work, So I'm torn on this one, Leighton, because part of me says this is dumb. It can't work because it's just too much. A deck like Vader Raider will never win a game again. It just can't do that much damage. This is a mistake. The other half of me goes, screw you, Vader Raider. I don't want aggro decks to be good. I want control decks to be good. And Ammo Belt makes control decks viable. So I'm both excited and terrified by the card, but I have been running Hero Mill decks with the card, having a Padme that literally can't die. I've been running this vehicle deck with Chewbacca, who's not great, but Chewbacca with second chance and ammo belt is the biggest meat sack you'll ever find. He just doesn't die while his vehicles, churn out piles of damage. What do you think, Leighton? First of all, are you terrified by this combo of second chance ammo belt? And second of all, have you built any decks with it?
I refuse to accept that it works. Outright refuse to accept that it works. I get that. I get that feeling that we don't want the game to be aggro. We don't want people being blown up on turn 3 and 4. I love games that are real slog fests. They go on for a long period of time. I just feel like it's a bad move for the game to have this combination to work. Like you say, this character just not dying. It's just. I guess it's frustrating when someone just rolls out and they hit you for big damage and they smack you around. It's also frustrating when you kill their character 4 times and they're not dead, and you just can't get past it.
Yep.
It does obviously mean you'll have to put other cards in your deck, but that's the thing. Like, why should I have to put in cards like Disarm or things or Confiscation just in case I play against this matchup?
And Disarm doesn't work, by the way.
Okay, no, not Disarm, yes.
Yeah, Disarm doesn't need either of them, actually.
So use the magic of editing to cut that out, please. No. Of course. I don't think, I think it's negative for a game for you to put in real niche cards to deal with certain decks. Like cards like, when Block Dodge was in decks when Django was around. Okay, yeah, it was there for the Djangos, but it also hit Han. It hit everything. Hit everyone who ran guns. Anyone who ran guns, it hit them. So, and that's half of the characters essentially. If I imagine there must be half and half melee and ranged. But just I feel that's a bad move. You have to text specifically for that. And I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that Lucas says he doesn't like lots of recursion effects in games.
Yeah.
So, and the thing with like Jakku, okay, that's a recursion effect, or cheat card is a recursion effect.
Yep.
But it's a recursion effect that requires action and requires time, and it allows your opponent to respond to that before you can play it fully out, unless you're doing things like fast hands and force speed madness. Yeah. But with Ammo Belt, it's just instant. It just happens. Right, that's gone. My big expensive card stays on my guy. Now I can just get this 1-drop card back from my discard, put it on it again before you get rid of the big expensive 3-drop card. Yeah, I feel it's a negative for the game.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a big problem. I was surprised when Lucas confirmed it. He's confirmed it more directly. I have sources. I can't really talk about it, but it works for now.
Yeah.
If the community revolts, then it probably won't work, right? And like you said, there's not enough options. Like, you can say something like, "Well, just run Imperial Inspection and Confiscation," but first of all, you have to be running Villain Red or Villain Yellow, or there's literally no way to work against this. If there was a neutral card that was Confiscation, then at least you'd have an argument, right? You could say, well, hey, man, if the meta's a lot of ammo belt, meta the meta. You got to come prepared, and that would be annoying. But I don't see how you can tell, like, a mono blue character deck. Well, you shouldn't have chosen that deck, man. You're an idiot. Don't choose a mono blue deck. You just literally can't play it because Ammo Belt beat you. I don't think that's good. I don't think Ammo Belt should work. It does work, and we'll have to see how problematic that is moving forward. But really, man, in a Hero Mill deck, they move fast. You don't have that many turns to even find the Confiscation that gets milled off your deck anyway.
Yeah, you put in this one copy of Confiscation to tech against the Ammo Belt, and they mill it away anyway. Yeah. So you're just screwed either way. Yeah. So
play like 2 cheats and a Confiscation just to handle Ammo Belt, and all that does is get rid of the Ammo Belt or the second chance where they can just play another one. So it's not really an answer anyway in my book.
Yeah, that's the thing I liked about Second Chance. It costs 3, so it's like if my opponent, we only get 2 resources a turn unless we save some. So if my opponent wants to get it back via Jakku, they have to, unless they've got the money, they have to then get rid of a weapon to put it back on, therefore making themselves less offensive. So I didn't mind that trade as much.
Yeah.
But just with this, it just rubs me up the wrong way.
I totally agree. Part of me. The other part of me says, well, I'm just going to be the dirty dog that runs it. Like, so all I've been doing is building ammo belt decks. It's been really fun, man. Being able to play a bad card like Chewbacca and be like, yes, I have a Chewbacca deck and I have a Falcon and 2 U-Wings out here. It actually feels fun. Like, it's great.
Well, it is fun when you're on the right side of the dirty tricks, doesn't it?
Of course. You always have to be on the right side of the dirty tricks, Leighton. That is the key to being successful at a game and being happy. You got to be on the right side of the dirty tricks.
The dark side, the Sith is grabbing you, man. You need to step towards the light. This combo shouldn't work.
I love villain in Awakenings, but in Spirit of Rebellion right now, it is all hero, and it's only because of the neutral ammo belt, by the way. It's neutral. It's not even a hero card.
Yeah. Crazy.
All right, Leighton, what is the next card that's really been motivating your deck building?
So there's a character that I really want to get to work without cheating, and that's Jin. So therefore, Rebel is the card. Rebel is the card.
Okay. Rebel is the card?
Yeah, Rebel is the card. And this game really has this... they're kind of telling you what cards to run with what characters. Look at character like Force Strike, you play that with Vader. Let's look at Boundless Ambition, you've got to play that with Dooku. Defensive Stance, you've got to play that with Qui-Gon Jinn. And Rebel's doing the same. It's got a lovely picture of Jin on there, and it's telling you, play Jin with this card.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great card. I think it gives you a lot of options. Because, again, I'm not going to be playing that disgusting combo of ammo belt. This allows me to play a second chance for my discard pile for 2. And that's fair. That's fair.
You know what it really allows you to do, Leighton? It allows you to play your ammo belt back on for free.
No, I won't. I never will. I will be the. I can't do it. I can't bring. Well,
come on, Leighton. Come on, man.
I'm turning. I feel my soul being ripped out of my chest right now, man.
Make it the one-man meta, because all your meta mates quit because they're sick of playing against you.
I'm just hearing Palpatine do it, wanting me to do it. But no. So, but I think it's a great card because with Jin's ability, if this is the first event you play, you get it for free, and Reversal is a fantastic card in that deck, and it allows you to play more reversals from the discard pile. Again, only costing you your 2 resources. So it's a very strong card. I just really want Jin to work, man. I love her dice. I love the film. Rogue One's a great film. I think she's quite expensive though. That's the problem. I want her to work. And
those dice, man. She is so expensive. This is the way I look at her. If I want to play a mill deck, I'll just run Padme. Padme has 2 mill sides. One's mill hand, one's mill deck. It ends up about the same, and she costs substantially less. If I want to play a damage deck, there's just way better guys for damage. She just feels to me like the light side's Krennic, right? Where it's like, yeah, in a vacuum, she looks great. But then in practice, you're like, oh, well, everyone does something better than that person.
Yeah, it's the price point that ruins that. I mean, because that whole first article, they were kind of saying they wanted characters with consistent dice.
Yep.
They do one thing, they do it consistently. And she's got that consistent damage. Yeah. She's got a good mill on her. But me and Danny have both played the deck in different ways. He feels that paired her with Rey is his favorite combination. That's his favorite combo. I've tried it with Akbar and with Rebel Commando, and it's just, it's tough. It's tough to get to really hum, but this card is definitely one of the cards that makes it hum.
Yeah. Real quick about her picture here. I'm not even convinced the person who drew this had access to what Jyn Erso looks like.
No, probably not. It's not the worst art. I mean, I've been pretty scathing about the world's promo Mon Mothma. So
okay. I'll say this. I will say this. It's better than what I could do, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a hideous stick person that was massively out of proportion if I was to draw it. So
me too. All right. So my next card is Unkar. I I really like Unkar Plut. I think his price point is very good. 2 dice that do what they do well at only 13 is great. Even 1 die at 10 is really good. And the reason why I think he's so good is when you get to combine him with things like Imperial Inspection, which triggers off of the Disrupt side, and Salvage Yard, which triggers off of the Resource side. It's giving you not just Disrupt and resources, but it's giving you these procs. And that's what I think makes him so exciting. And so I'm building a lot of decks around him, especially at that 10 point. It lets you go him, FN, or 9s, each only costing 10. You're already at 21 health, and you have 10 more left for a slew of different guys. You can go Kylo and go 32 health and go, Chewbacca meat sack, check my meat sacks out.
Yeah, I played against someone with that combo actually on TTS, and he just had supports for days. Just dropping supports all over the place. It was crazy town. It really was. Yeah, he's a great character. When I first looked at him, I was a bit underwhelmed. I guess my problem is I kind of fall into this trap where I look at a character and I think, how much damage can they do? Yeah. How quick can they kill someone? Yep. You know, but then the actual sort of like gamer and the intelligent part of my brain kind of kicks in, and it starts thinking about the disgusting combinations of the ways that you can really wreck your opponent's day. Yeah. With Imperial Inspection and this guy it's just they're just meant to be. They definitely are meant to be.
Yeah, the reason why I like him so much is his cost point, right? And this is what I love about Destiny so far. All of the sort of support characters that don't do a lot of damage have had low cost points, and I think that is exactly right. You know, you want the Jabbas and the Unkars and the Mazes to have these really low cost points so that you can still run a damage deck with this character. It doesn't. You're not just forced into like, well, I got to run some weird deck. Like I'm running a full-on Disrupt deck or, you know, a full-on mill deck. Like I can actually make a damage deck with Unkar because he's cheap enough, and I really like that.
No, yeah, it's the perfect price point. I think 10 is such a good price point because it does allow you to go for these 3 character suites, each with a dice each. It allows you to have so much. Well, if you go Rainbow, you have access to every card in your villain or hero pool. So it does allow you to have really construct something quite interesting, and that can work really well and really synergize with all these different cards.
Yep, it's the same way reason I love 9 so much. 10, that guy seems way undercosted at 10, by the way. 10 for 11 health and a sick ability. It's like, what? Huh? Who costed this dude?
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I don't know if I dreamt this, or I mean, sometimes I do find myself dreaming about Star Wars Destiny. But someone did say that they actually made this set before Awakenings, so that's why this was the first set they kind of really got done. But then they brought out Awakenings first, so that's one of the reasons why. Again, sorry to bring this conversation back up, but one of the reasons why the Ammo Belt Second Chance combo is it's like one of the ones that slipped through the cracks. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if I dreamt that. I don't know if someone made that up. It came with an apparition.
To comment on that in any way. I have no idea. I don't think that's true, but I have no way to combat your dreams, sir.
Imagine in a world where that is a true statement, then we can have a good conversation about it.
Yeah, that would be an interesting conversation. I think we're going to skip that in case that is not at all true, because I have no idea if that is true or not.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure Danny told me it. So if it's wrong, blame Danny.
Blame Danny. I already blame Danny, and I'm going to assume it's wrong, and I'm going to assume Danny had a lot to drink that night. All right,
he's known for that.
Your next card, Leighton?
My next card. Okay, so I was really torn between what 2 cards to talk about for this last card, and I think I'm going to go with this one. So I want to go with Battle Formation. And the reason why I want to go for Battle Formation is because there is something very terrifying about having an opponent with 3 Death Troopers on the other side of the table to you. It feels like you've got a firing squad. Someone's just lit in your final cigarette. You're taking a peep out of the blindfold, and it's all going to end badly. But other than that, I love cards like this that allow you to do. Discarding a card anyway is going to allow you to re-roll dice. So, but this card allows me to then re-roll those dice, and also, if they're good, resolve them. Yeah. So, And again, FFG definitely going through that whole thing of look at the artwork of the card. That's what the characters you should be playing with that card.
Yeah,
it's got the 3 different. Because at first, when Danny first played the 3 Death Troopers against me, I thought, nah, this isn't going to be great. They don't make any money. They're okay. It's a lot of health to go through. But when he played Endless Ranks 4 times in 2 games,
wow,
it was horrible. It was horrible.
All this money to play Endless Ranks.
So we have like data pads and what's that? The support when a character dies, get a buck. So obviously it works both when he kills one of my guys, and it counts when I kill one of his guys. So I'd kill a guy, and then he'd say I'll have this money saved up, and be like, right, now I'll bring him back for a second.
Killing his guys lets him bring them back.
Yeah, so it was horrible. But so this card isn't particularly flashy. It's only got sort of quite a few decks that it'll go into, but I like what it does. It's very solid at what it does. Because the other card that I was thinking of is the blue one, Trust Your Instincts. Is that what it's called? Something like that. That was the other one I was thinking about talking about. It has a very similar effect, but I went with this one instead.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this is Battle Formation is going to be powerful. It's that more motivation to run that mono red villain that has never really quite been good enough, right? Like, you could run 4 Stormtroopers, but why the heck would you? You could just throw a ball and a Night Sister in there and then have access to everything. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if a real hardcore mono red villain deck comes out of this. I hope it will. I mean, people have played against me, like Elite Veers, 2 pilots. That's been interesting, and
I've seen that.
Definitely a lot of possibilities.
When I look at cards, I look at the price and I see 0. Nice. Yeah. I look at the text. Ambush. Nice. Yeah. Yep. I start reading it. Oh, that's cool. So that's how I kind of go for this excited run of events as I look down this card. So that's but mono red's definitely now that we've got essentially double the amount of cards, mono is definitely more and more viable. There's so many more options. There's double the options now, and there's definitely so many more powerful cards in the mono suite decks now. So I think we are going to see a lot more mono-colored decks instead of just the standard big characters.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that as well. I hope they release more and more of these cards that are mono deck helpers. I think that's a really good direction to go in, to say, okay, yes, you have to give up on 2 colors, but look at this card, it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's look at my last card then. This is a card we've already been talking about a little bit. I had a hard time picking a last card. That's Imperial Inspection. 0 cost support. After one of your dice rolls a disrupt, you may exhaust this support to return an upgrade in play that costs 2 or less to its owner's hand. It's such an amazing card. It slows them down with resources. It costs you nothing. And you just roll a die. You don't even have to disrupt them. You can just re-roll that die. So it's pretty crazy in its power level. I'm really excited about this card, and we're going to see a lot of 2-cost upgrades still being run. You're going to have ammo belts that are going to be out there. Vibro Knife is going to be ridiculously prevalent. The only problem, of course, Leighton, is do you really want to return Ray's Vibro Knife to her hand so she can use it next turn?
Yeah, that is definitely a double-edged sword. So supports, historically, they've been a bit too slow, and they've kind of been an anti-tempo play. But this card, like I say, it's free, just slap it down. Yeah. And then if your dice happens to roll the disrupt, you get to put it off. And it really, when you play against it and you see that Imperial Inspection, because a lot of the time you start with Baby Blaster. Okay, I have Baby Blaster for a while. Then I have some money for some removal. Then next turn, I'm going to upgrade that Baby Blaster into something else and still have money for removal. When your opponent has this on the table, you're just like, oh man, I'm going to have to save my money because it's pointless. It's pointless me playing this gun because you're just going to bounce it straight back. It's like I'm just flicking that one resource off the table. Yeah. It really slows down your opponent. And I really like these new supports that are, if you roll this, you get to do this. It's a really good mechanic.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised it costs 0, to be honest. It's so strong. It feels like it could probably cost 1 in C play, but maybe not. Maybe that's what makes it C play, is that it costs 0. So it's one of those really interesting cards that I feel like needs a lot of play testing before it's released, because you're like, I don't know, is it 0 or 1? It's so difficult. But at 0, I just love it. And like I said, Unkar has, for 13, he has a total of 4 disrupt sides when you roll him out. That's crazy with this card. You're very likely to hit one. And when you do, bye-bye, F11. Bye-bye, Holdout Blaster. Bye-bye, so many awesome cards. It's really strong.
Yeah, it's great, and it's because not only does it is an anti-tempo play for your opponent, it's like you can use it as removal as well, which is so good.
Yeah.
So that's it's crazy. I think it definitely would still see play at a value of 1. I think Dark Presence is right at 0, but which is obviously that's the blue almost equivalent that we're on discard. But yeah, it's just it's madness. It's madness.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it more and more. The one card I don't like it with is Krennic. Everyone wants to play this with Krennic, and I look at Krennic, I'm like, dude, he costs 19 and he only has 1 disrupt side. Like, it's not worth it. Just play Grievous if you're going to do that. He has a disrupt side. There's just so many better cards I think you can play with this. The big trick that I like to do is just play a Stormtrooper to get it, and now you have 23 points to do whatever you want. Maybe that's a 2-die Unkar and 10 more for something else.
Yeah, it's not spot, is it? So it's just, all you got to do is take up 7 of your 30 just to get this card into your deck. Krennic's another one of those guys that I really want to work. He's like in that Jin category. I like him. He's a cool character. I want him to work, but just can't quite find the dream team with him yet. And because this was the card that was like, oh yeah, this is the card that'll make Krennic fantastic. But just Unkar.
When I first saw Krennic, I mean, that was the card that really excited me about Spirit of Rebellion. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm in love with this card. And then as we get more and more cards, you're just like, yeah, no, that cost point is way too high. He looks awesome, but he doesn't do damage. He doesn't mill. He just got, one of each of these sides, and for 15-19, that's not going to cut it. But, oh well. Yeah. Hopefully someone will break him. People will email me every day, Leighton, with complaints about how wrong I am about every single card I've talked about. Any card I said was not the best card in the game, I've gotten a message. Tiny, you're an idiot. It is. And you know what? Maybe I am. But my gut tells me Krennic is not a tier 1 card.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that when you put your neck out there and put an opinion out there, that you're never going to have everyone agreeing with you. And the people that disagree with you are the ones that really disagree with you. And really feel
thing, Leighton, you're going to be wrong a lot. I'm not saying I'm going to be right on all this. I will be wrong on lots of things. Chalk that one up. I said it here. I'll be wrong on lots of stuff, but it's fun talking about it anyway. So, Leighton, is there a deck that you're really looking forward to for Spirit of Rebellion, or are you just taking your Vader Raider deck and going, yes, so many new tools, oh, it will be unbeatable now?
Well, there is a bit of that, because I was saying to a friend quite a while ago that I would just be happy they brought out a character pack. Like, just here's like a load of new characters. You can keep all the weapons, keep all the upgrades you've got. Here's just some new characters, and that'd been fantastic. But then, as I've been building decks, I've really been going back to quite a lot of old staples. So again, Vader Raider, I've been playing a lot of SOR Vader Raider, having a crazy win streak on that bad boy. Qui-Gon Rey is a deck that I really liked playing early on in Awakenings, because Qui-Gon was the first character I managed to pull Elite. So I think that's had a lot of nice new tools and can be really good. I haven't actually played with it yet at all, but I've got sort of like some ideas in my mind.
It's good. It's good. I've used it. It's good.
Yeah, but one that I want to get at work is I call it Rey Backer. So it's Rey with Chewie.
Chewie.
Is it? Yeah, Rey with Chewie. So that's a deck that I want to get sorted, because I kind of feel like you can make Chewie's special work and not hurt you with Force Throw. So I can resolve specials, and I can be like, okay, I'm going to turn your dice to the most powerful damage that it has.
Yep.
Use of Chewie special, hit you with it, and then I'm going to throw it back at you with the Force Throw.
Yeah.
So it's literally hinged on that one combo.
Leighton, I hate to tell you, you don't automatically get Force Throw. You have to draw it, you have to get 3 resources, then you have to roll it special.
Yeah, no, it's I'm living in a fairy tale world where
that's fair. That's fair.
Every first hand I will get it binds all things. every second turn I will play the Force Throw, and every second roll I will get specials.
I think the real answer here, Leighton, is just play Holocron in it. Just play Holocron in your Rey deck, and dare people to throw you out of tournaments.
Yeah, dare them to question. I mean, I am over 6 foot tall, and I do have quite a big beard. So
Yeah, no one's gonna literally pick you up and throw you out of the tournament. It'll be fine.
I'll play that. I'll play that intimidation. I dare you to tell me my deck's illegal.
Yeah, yep. I think it's fair.
But it's. I don't. I mean, it's. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to make it work.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play ammo belt with my second chance. That's how I'm going to work.
What? You have to, otherwise just can the deck now. Yeah, now I've played a lot of Chewbacca recently, and that special is pretty cool. I've done a lot of neat things with it. Where, I mean, first of all, if you see someone has like, something on them, like a really like a rocket launcher or something, you just start whittling that character down, because as soon as they get even close, then you can just kill them with their own rocket launcher, and it's really fun. And then the other thing is stuff like TIE Fighter Pilot. It doesn't say that you have to resolve it. You're just doing the damage. So you just flip it to the +3, and if they don't have any base sides out, they just get wrecked, and that can be really strong.
And also, like, handcrafted light bow, that card is so good, and
yeah,
the fact that you're playing a split damage deck, essentially, it kind of fits in there nicely. But it's another 3 cost upgrade, so I don't know how I'm going to make the money.
It'll be
somehow.
Fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine, Leighton. All right. For me, the deck that I'm most excited about is Hero Villain. Hero Villain. Yeah, Hero Villain. Hero Mill. It's a deck that I really liked in Awakenings until people fine-tuned their decks and made good aggro decks, and suddenly Hero Mill was that deck where you always went, oh, jeez, I was so close. If only blah, blah, blah. And then every single game was exactly the same, and you would always lose by 1 or 2. But with Second Chance, Ammo Belt, Con Artist, you can basically have a whole suite of upgrades that all have discard sides on them. You have Padme milling the deck. You have Second Chance making it so whatever yellow character is left at the end doesn't die. I think Hero Mill is very, very scary and real. The real question for me is, do I go 2 yellow guys to make sure you can't get lucky and pop off Padme before I load her up? Or do I get real cheeky and run Ray or somebody else and Patience and try to just blast you for Patience for 8 mid-game? Nothing feels better than a mill deck milling off 8 off the top in the middle of the game. That's just amazing.
I know how much you love your Patience, or used to love your Patience back in the day. So
no. I want to bring it back, man. I want to bring it back. So I'm not sure yet. Right now, since I'm all in on Second Chance Ammo Belt, it just feels really risky just to only have Padme, and then they kill Padme, and then you lose. So right now I've got Padme and Maz in my mill deck. Maz obviously not a mill character, but at the end of the game you can always stick a Cunning on her or something, or a Con Artist, and have ways to mill out with this Maz that can't die.
Yeah, I think it's a good call to double down on the yellow hero, like you say, just in case those things go hideously wrong and you don't draw into that disgusting combination that does not work. Because that's the thing, when you play these games and you're so close, never look at the top card of your deck, because it's always the answer you needed.
Oh yeah,
it's always, never look at that top card. So yeah, I mean, as much as I am more focused as a player, like more mid-range to the aggro style, I like these slog fights where blasters are flying and lightsabers are clashing. That's how I really wanted my games to play.
Yeah.
I like the fact that's the control, the mill is becoming more viable, and it definitely makes James a lot happier. James, he is a big fan of the Jabba Dooku. I mean, he's not the hero mill side. He loves the villain mill. That's probably his most favorite deck. And he's more excited that sort of like mill is definitely becoming a more viable option. I think it's healthy for the game to have multiple win conditions that are viable.
Yeah, I agree. What I don't want to have, though, is mill becoming the main deck. I think that's a really weird feeling. And it's fine, right? Like if you built a game and you said, okay, the point of the game is to mill your opponent, that'd be fine. But that's not the point of the game, right? It feels very much like an alternate win condition, something that's kind of neat, that if it happens rarely, it's cool. But it feels like if it becomes the main win condition, you're looking at like, well, I have Darth Vader swinging lightsabers at you, and you're just like sneakily beating me. This is dumb. I hate this game.
Well, I guess you can kind of see it. It's the double-edged. It's the two sides of Star Wars. You know, you've got the epic battles, then you've also got the fun scenes in the Senate, and that's what it feels like. You know, I'm the really cool X-wing battles and the battles on the beaches of Scarif.
Yeah.
And you're I've even got the character's name. I hate him so much. The stupid Gungan.
Oh yeah, Jar Jar.
I'm Jar Jar in the Senate trying to convince the trade federation to be nice. So yeah, I can kind of see that, because when you are on the opposite side, of Mill, it can make you feel quite salty.
Yeah, because it's not just because they're like, if the Mill was only pulling cards off the top of your deck, that would be one thing. But because, say, like Jabba can just go roll Jabba, use his ability, re-roll. Now I have 4 discard. You get an action and all your cards are gone. That feels even worse, right? It's like, I couldn't do anything and you're winning in this weird way. I'm just not a big fan of that being the primary win condition.
Yeah, because in any card game, hand size and having a hand, that's so important. It gives you got options there, because I mean, they could be a hand of dead cards, but your opponent doesn't know that. There's a whole thing of playing the game and playing your opponent, you know, and not looking somber that I've got a handful of dead cards, you know, making them think you've got all the answers, so they're really sweating about what to play. But then when someone just empties your hand, you're like, well, I'm empty. I've got nothing that can surprise you. I have what I roll is what I roll, and my board is my board. I can't add nothing to it. So it is. It's so strong taking cards away from people's hands. Yeah. So strong.
Totally agree. All right. Well, those are the archetypes we're looking forward to. Those are what we're looking forward to for Spirit of Rebellion. And Leighton, I got to ask you one last question. How many boxes did you order? And how many boxes do you anticipate you're actually going to receive on May the 4th?
So I've actually only ordered one.
What?
Because I'm a madman. I've ordered one box thus far, but I do intend to order another one. I've got quite a lot of credit on a website that sells singles.
Ah, okay.
I sold out of another game preparing for this.
Gotcha.
So so I'm just going to open my boxes and be like, yeah, cool. I've got some cool stuff, and then I'm just going to buy one off there. But I'm hoping people can get stuff. I'm hoping there isn't this mass shortage. I did speak to our local game store owner, just asking him if he will definitely have the stuff in for May 4th, and he says that they should definitely get their allocation for people who've pre-ordered stuff. Nice. And it's like a week or two down the line, they're expecting a big restock, so he isn't concerned. I know a lot of people are calling it the end of the world already.
Yeah. Let's see. For me, it's so hard because with Awakenings being so difficult to get, I just pre-ordered way more than I actually want. And so if I get stuck with it all, I'll be really upset and broke. But then if none of it comes in, I'm also going to be upset. So it's this weird spot where it looks like I'll get at least 3 on the 4th and 2 more very soon after. But I could possibly get 5 on the 4th. But I could possibly get none if they're wrong, right? And it's like, well, we thought we were going to get that many, but turns out we won't. So I feel very uneasy about the 4th. It's either going to be an amazing day or like the saltiest day I've had in a long time. So we'll see. And I'm sure I got this little podcast that people will find out what happened.
Yeah. Well, we've got a tournament we're going to, which is a few days after the release, and I believe it's going to be Spirit of Rebellion legal. So the good thing about us, you know, there's 3 of us together, so we can kind of like pool together and make sure that at least for that we'll have the cards we want. But I quite like. I get why people like to just get out there and just get the stuff, have it already. Right, I'm good to go for this whole set. I've got all my stuff. I can make what I want. I'm good to go. But I also quite like just going down my shop every week and hoping there's packs there and buying a couple of packs every now and again and getting that feeling of opening a pack and like, yeah, a card that I really wanted, because I mean, it's addictive opening packs.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. It's so addictive. And I think if you open like 3 boxes in a row, you just sit there with loads of cards all around you, empty packets all over the place, dice all over the place. And it can get quite fatiguing. But I quite like I like drip feeding myself. It's almost like I've got this drug addiction, but I'm really good at maintaining it.
Yep. Hey, Leighton, speaking of that, you want to open a pack with me? I have 1 Awakenings pack in my hand that I'm showing in front of the camera now. I won it at an event, 1 single pack, and I haven't opened it. I won it like 2 weeks ago. Should I open it right now?
I mean, those things are very rare, so I think this would be beautiful to be part of. So let's do this.
Okay,
get this back open.
Let's do it. Hopefully, in honor of you, we'll win a Vader. I mean, this is the problem of already having the full set, though. Whatever you open, you're just kind of like, yay, another copy of that. And I got my 1000th Count Dooku.
At least it's not a Ray Staff or a BB-8.
And I did talk about
that was my
a million times how awesome Dooku is, so that's fair. The rare is Force Strike, though. So that's pretty good. I'll take
card. Solid. Yeah. See, I've still not finished my set. I'm missing Jabba the Hutt. So if anyone wants to give me a Jabba the Hutt, I'm your man. Send it that way. Send it my way.
I got a block, Leighton. I got a block.
There you go.
Yep. Award ceremony and disturbance in the Force. And it's funny. I just said that I had a full set. I don't have a full set. That was a lie. I am missing a Luke's lightsaber and 1 other card. I think it's an ATST. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
No one plays that. Don't worry about it.
Missing a couple myself. I was originally going to get that second Luke's lightsaber, and then now looking at Spirit of Rebellion, I just don't think I'm going to want 2 Luke's lightsabers anyway. I think 1 is more than enough, so I probably will never get the other one.
Yeah, I feel like 1 will always be the golden number of Luke's lightsabers if you ever play any Luke's lightsabers.
Yeah, exactly. If it's playable at all. So, Leighton, thanks so much for coming on the show. Why don't you talk a little bit about where people can find you on the internet? Maybe you're a part of the best podcast for Star Wars games that there is.
Well, I am right now. Hey!
Whoa! I'd like to hear that. Yes.
So thank ever so much for having me. So you can find Freeman Meta on Facebook. You can listen to us on iTunes, on SoundCloud as well. We also have a YouTube channel as well, which we make a video version of the podcast on there if you prefer that as your way of listening or watching podcasts. We do stream sometimes on Twitch. Sometimes we'll have some games and test some decks. And we use Twitter like once every blue moon. But you can find us on Twitter.
But you will not tell people how to find you on Twitter. I'd like your style.
Well, yeah, exactly. You can find us on there, but you actually have to find us.
You have to find them. It's a mystery.
And also, we've just recently been being hosted on swdestiny.com as well, which is absolutely awesome. So nice. You can find us on there as well. So it's all just 3-man meta. That's what we are. That's the URL, just 3-man meta. So Twitch/3-man meta. Twitter /3-man meta. That's how you'll find us.
Awesome. You can find me at YouTube. Just look for Tiny Grimes. You can find me on Twitter as Tiny Grimes Games. I've been streaming here and there when I get a chance, Tiny Grimes, trying to play some interesting Spirit of Rebellion decks. And yeah, you can find the podcast on iTunes. Leave a 5-star review if you like the show. It helps people be able to find it. If you hate the show and for some reason the only reason you listen is that you can go on Reddit and talk about how stupid I am, you don't need to leave a review. That's cool. It's fine. You don't have to do that.
I love the Reddit.
So thanks so much to Leighton for stopping by, and hopefully we'll hear from you soon, Leighton, and good luck whooping up on the rest of the 3-man meta.
Yeah, thanks ever so much for having me. It's been a privilege and honor to be part of this. Had a really good time chatting to you, man. It's been really good.
Yeah, same here. You are by far my favorite member of the 3-man meta, to the point where I can't stand the other ones now. You tell them that.
Well, I mean, they do call me Alpha, so that's gonna be even better.
There you go. Dominate those people for me. And until next time, we'll see you at the Smugglers Den.